Hi everyone, something a bit different today. I'm covering Kin Hank's latest, the Super Console S2. Kin Hank are mostly known for their Super Console series, with the Super Console X probably being their most popular. The Super Console S2 aims to be a more budget-friendly alternative to the X, while trying to offer a more simple plug-and-play experience in the smallest package possible. So the S2 has a simple game stick design, with the idea being that you plug the S2 straight into a TV and use one of the TV's USB ports or an external power pack to power it. According to the box, the Super Console S2 comes with a GB2 CPU and 256 megabytes of RAM, with it capping out at PlayStation 1 emulation. In terms of what comes inside the box, the S2 comes with the game stick itself, a short HDMI extender lead, a micro USB cable for power, and two DualShock 2-like wireless controllers that don't appear to have rumble motors and require a couple of AAA batteries to power. The RRP for the S2 is around the $45 mark. In terms of the design of the stick itself, it's not that bad at all. It feels pretty solid, and the HDMI side has a little top over it to keep it protected while not in use. On one side we have the HDMI slot itself, and on the other we have a USB-A port for the control's wireless USB stick to plug into, and a micro USB port for power. On the side we've got the micro SD port with a QA stick over the top of it, and that's literally the S2 from a hardware perspective. Of course, the Super Console S2 also comes with two of these DualShock 2 inspired controllers, and I was pleasantly surprised with these overall. Firstly, they're super light, likely due to them only being powered by two AAA batteries and not having rumble motors, but despite feeling light, they still feel solid. There's next to no rattle like I would expect from a third-party controller, and there's no sharp edges or immediate glaring flaws. Saying that, the build quality still shows a bit of its budget roots, with the joints in the plastics being very visible and the shoulder buttons feeling pretty hollow, making a substantial click when being pressed, especially in the fast succession. Additionally, the buttons have quite a loud tap to them, and the analog sticks almost have a grinding noise to them, which almost all can be associated to the fact the controller itself is quite hollow. With all that said though, the controller is certainly ergonomic for my hands and is instantly nostalgic. On top of that, the D-pad and buttons do work very well in gameplay and are very responsive, which is essentially the most important part of any controller. The joystick's travel are slightly impacted by their slightly large size, but this actually translates quite well to retro and arcade gaming. Overall, for budget controllers, they're not bad, they're just loud. So I'll plug the Super Console S2 into my capture device and have a look-see through the firmware. So the inbuilt firmware is similar to others that we've seen before. It's pretty basic, but equally what is there isn't too bad, with the majority of games having full screenshots and box art. On boot, we've presented with an A to Z list of everything. The console section shows the list of 9 emulators, which you can jump into each list individually. Then we've got a history tab, a favourite section, an empty down section, a search area, and a settings area, where thankfully you're able to change the button tone. You're able to reset, change the language and software version, and that's about it. It would have been nice to see some of the more advanced features from some of the Super Console series, as being able to remap controls, set screen resolutions, having cheats or retro achievements are just more than handy additions. The search functionality initially confused me a bit, with the messaging of example to find Metal Slug, please input MS, which I thought meant shortcode, but actually means the search is cap sensitive. So a search for Marvel in caps won't show any relevant results, but Marvel with a capital M and lowercase other letters will. Anyway, I'll cut to some gameplay now and summarise back up at the end.
Optic blast! Optic blast! Optic blast! Optic blast!
Tornado claw. Present hammer.
Optic
Tornado
blast.
claw.
Optic blast.
Present. Yes. Tornado claw. Tornado claw. Tornado claw.
So overall, the Super Console S2 or GameStick Lite is an interesting proposition. It's good to see improvements on the budget side of retro gaming, and the Super Console S2, to its credit, mostly achieves what it aims to do in giving a relatively budget-friendly entry to a plug-and-play retro gaming console. The emulation could be better, the customization options are limited, with it only really offering basic save states. But if you're looking for an entry-level device to see whether you'd use a retro gaming console or for presents, it's not a bad option. That's it for now though, thanks so much for watching.